We are having a cold and snowy day here in Utah. It's a perfect time. Come out to my nice warm shop, work on a project. This project right here, which is a fully assembled piece of Intarsia. I've done all the design, the assembly, everything is ready to be ground out, trimmed and ground out. That's what we're going to be doing. This is going to go from its ugly current self to, well, a beautiful finished piece today, and we finally get to see how well I did. So we're going to be using these three machines back here. Let's talk about it. One of the machines we're going to be using will be this right here. This is the Alsasona Intarsia machine. Be talking about that, using it some. The high-tech diamond, 8-inch flat lap with the Intarsia fence that I designed. Go check it out, currently rockhounding.com/store. Be using both of these, talking about that. I was going to use the Lortone saw, but I don't feel like making a big mess and having to clean it right now. And we can get away with the old Rock Gem Trim, little teeny tiny saw, because we only need to do a little bit of teeny tiny trimming. I really do like this little tiny 5-inch saw. I've had it for a little bit now. I've used it a lot. I find myself using it quite often when doing Intarsia work, both in the construction of the Intarsia piece and here in the finishing where I'm cutting some of the backing stone away. Great. It's so nice to not have to make a big mess out of your 10-inch trim saw, 6-inch trim saw. I mean, use whatever you got, but I'm using, and I'm doing that right here. I'm using what I got. Yeah, I mean, they're really intended for people that do faceting. So imagine you have like an emerald and you want to trim it down a little bit so you can spend less time grinding to that rough shape that you need for emerald cut or pear cut or whatever you're doing. So yeah, it's kind of a handy little tool, and I like it. I don't know, there's something about it. Like, it's just all cast aluminum. It's nice. It's a good little tool to have. The reason for the trim saw is because if it wasn't for that, we'd have to grind all of this material away. So rather than doing that, we just cut it off. This is the Alsasona Intarsia machine. I've had it for a while now, and I've spent some time with it. I've made some great pieces with it. It has some downsides, though. And, realistically, almost all machines could be improved upon. No difference here. But we need to grind this down to its profile and get it to be a nice rectangle. Get this backing stone flush up there. And we'll be using this machine, which is pretty simple. We have our water reservoir, feeds water onto the lapping disc. So when we turn it on, spins the water out. This is our platform here, and that's what our stone rests on for our grinding. So we're looking down in this orientation, which can be really good for some things, a lot less good for other things. Similar over here, our lap is flat versus vertical over here. So when we come in to grind down one of these sides, we're coming in at this orientation. So another pro to this is being able to creep up onto your grind line. I find it personally easier on this one, but in this orientation, you can push a little bit harder. So kind of equal but different. So this Intarsia machine I got for $300 used, and it's worth every penny of that, and probably not a penny more. It's a cool machine. I like the Alsasona machine in that it is a part of Lapidary history. It's something that really kickstarted it in America. You can see one of the problems here with it is you get swarf buildup because of that orientation, how the water comes out. But as I was saying, I think it is a good machine in that $300 price range, or even just any Intarsia machine is in that price range. Buy it, right? The problem comes from the fact that you can't do everything on it. You have to have a cab machine. You have to have a flat lap in addition to to be able to finish the pieces. And that's something where, you'll see here, there's just angles and positions that you work your stone when doing Intarsia, be it the assembly stage or in the finishing stage, that you just can't do on these Intarsia machines. And if you're considering a new Intarsia machine with the fixtures, you're looking at $1,500. And well, in that $1,500 ish range, let's just say $1,300 to $1,700, you can 100% get a faceting machine, a used faceting machine, an older one for sure, but you can get into a faceting setup. And everybody that has ever made like super top tier Intarsia pieces, everybody's using a faceting machine. Nobody is using a flat lap with an Intarsia fence or with or an Intarsia machine. People just aren't using those to make the top 1% of pieces. And that's kind of why I made the Intarsia fence in the first place, was so that everybody already has these high-tech laps. You can get in and you can try this for under $100 and see if it's something that you want to invest in later on, right? Later on, you want to get a faceting machine, a good deal comes along, great. You're going to be able to make way, way better pieces with that faceting machine than you will with anything else. So now we need to flatten the face of this. And here comes the problem with the Intarsia machine. This is kind of where its usefulness ends. Because how are you going to do this? You're going to rest one of these faces on the table and press in? Or are you going to try to hold it up in space and grind like that? Doing it like this it's terrible. Doing it like this also doesn't necessarily mean that you get a perfectly flat face, because what if this is actually 90, it'd be like 89.5, right? We can check that angle and we can adjust, but it can be hard. So you don't want to transfer that. We just want it to be flat. So both these faces are parallel to each other, okay? With flat lap, of course, that's easy because gravity is your friend. If you have a flat lap, well, you've probably flattened things. Look at what I'm doing here. Can you imagine doing this on a vertical lap? I don't want to do that. I want to be able to press down and pick the stone up vertically off of the lap. You can see my little painter's tape handle there. But yeah, just the motion across the lap. I don't think the vertical orientation is ideal for doing Intarsia work. Every time I try to do one step on one machine and then go over and do it on the opposing machine, I keep coming back to the 8-inch flat lap as being like the way. It is the preferred machine, I think. I mean, if you're out there and you do 100% of your work on an Intarsia machine, I would love to hear from you, hear a comment, and let me know how you go about handling some of these problems. So I did a bunch of grinding there. This is a 180 grit disc, and you can see what we're looking like here. The center is Misty Mountain Jasper. The white is Dolomite. The blue is Lapis, and the black is Basalt from Washington State. I love the color combination of this. A step that cannot be overlooked is ensuring that we're actually square here. The last thing you want to do is proceed before you really should be. So just kind of taking some measurements with the calipers, see how it's looking. And while it is not machine flawlessness, I'm close enough with these to where I'm happy, and we will probably call it good here. Keep on moving on. All of the 180 grit work is finished, which is nice. Took a long time to get here, but we're good. And this kind of goes to show why you can't finish pieces very well on an Intarsia machine. Yeah, there's always somebody out there that says they do it, but the reality is using a flat lap for this kind of work is it's preferred. So here is the sequence that we're going to be running through, and we're also going to be doing some light shaping, and we're going to be rounding the corners. 260 electroplated, 360 electroplated, 220 fiber resin. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about here, we have a master lap. I like having a dedicated one. You don't have to have a dedicated one. But this is diamond grit mixed with resin, and it's like in a fibrous disc, okay, versus the electroplated, which are diamonds, electroplated coated to a, is it nickel disc. So 220 fiber resin, 325, 600, 1200, 3000, 14,000, 50,000. We're not going to be doing any liquid finishes, no cerium, no tin oxide, none of that. Not even the cerium embedded pads. We're going to be doing this sequence. You might be wondering, where did I get these higher grits? The lower grits, these are from High Tech Diamond. These upper grits are from Covington Engineering. They're a Ameritool line. And yeah, all that's left now is to get this thing fully shaped. I think it's going to come out looking pretty good. It'll be a nice little display piece, show off the precision that can be obtained doing Intarsia work. One thing that we want to accomplish before moving on into the fiber resin realm with this 360 electroplated disc is we want to roll our edges. See, these super sharp edges will not bode well for us with the fiber resin. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here like this, and we are literally going to roll the edge. Roll the edge on all the edges, including walking it over. Now you can do this with the fence, especially for the corner walkover. We'll actually do that on this one, but it's not necessary. You know, all of these little tiny stones in here, that's when the Intarsia fence really shines, is the production of the piece, not necessarily the finishing of the piece. We're running at 1200 RPM here. You can see I just rolled that edge ever so slightly. Supporting it with my bottom fingers and rolling it up with the uphill in the direction of travel. You can see it can be a little grabby, but the end result is quite nice. We still have to finish all of these faces, but for that we would want to turn it up. I'm going to rinse this. So for these here, you know, it's just like before. I'm going to try to go rather uniformly. Just like that. And we have these edges rolled over, and they're less likely to chip out now. From here on out, we can just do all of this by hand because we'll be taking off significantly less with each pass. As we start to work up through our fiber resin, you know, like this one right here, 220, you have to repeat that process. We have to do the back, the front, the four sides, the four edges on the back, the four edges on the front, and a corner rollover. It can be very time consuming to do a complete Intarsia piece like this. You know, it's time consuming. What can I say? But the end result really is quite fantastic. My polishing has certainly improved once I started maintaining a very, very clean process. Between every single grit, I wash the stone, I will wash my hands, I will wash the laps with, my little brush and some dish soap. 9 times out of 10, if somebody reaches out to me and they're like, hey, I keep having persistent scratches through grits, and I'm not just talking about Intarsia, just like broadly speaking, it is that they have a filthy workspace. Like, Their space is dirty, their hands are dirty, their wheels are dirty. It's all dirty, and you're bringing swarf or diamonds or whatever over to the next stage, and you're just making your life really, really hard. So clean everything, clean it to like the max, okay? So this here is 3000 grit, and it can be a little difficult on camera to really see the difference between 3000 and 50,000, but trust me when I say it is very much so worth it to go all the way up. Overall, pretty nice. The basalt looks great when polished. It's got that nice sheen to it, kind of silvery almost. I love it. Coming together. I am very happy with how this came out. It looks beautiful up close. The polish came out looking fantastic. The fit and finish on all of the joints is very, very seamless. You cannot see it unless, you're looking at it in 4K on a giant screen. You know, to the naked eye, it is perfectly seamless. And I think I want to share with you how this was constructed, because I think that's also kind of cool to see. If you look at this picture here, this nice blown up photo of it, I highlighted the individual stones so that you can see the construction and how it was built out. And that kind of gives a little more perspective as to how it all came together, which, I mean, it's like a roadmap to Intarsia, right? Well, thank you, everybody. You know, I would highly encourage you to give this a shot. I personally find it to be very enjoyable. It's a cool, useful way of how to say it. It's a cool, useful thing to do because you can create pieces of jewelry, you can do pendants, you can do things like that. You can work with color theory. You can work with textures, different textures of stones. The possibilities are endless with an additive form of lapidary. That's my sales pitch. All right, go check out the website. All right, currently rockhounding.com. There's all kinds of great stuff up there. I appreciate you, and I will catch you in the next video.